Okay, this morning, start up my email. When I start up my email, this happens. I'll just get my messages now. Show what happens. This should happen. All right. It's trying to connect, and it comes up with this message. Sending of password for user did not succeed. Mail server pop Gmail did responded. Username and password not accepted. So the email program saying the username and password is not accepted. You click on OK, it comes up and says log into the server with username and password, fail, retry, enter new password or cancel. Now, I happen to know there's nothing wrong with the password. But however, what's happening here is the email program is sending a request to Google, which is my mail server, right? Mail provider, saying this is the password. It's getting it. It checks something else, which I will talk about in a minute. And even though the password is correct, it won't send the emails. However, the email program is under the impression that because it's not receiving emails, that the password is incorrect. Now, that's not the case, all right? I'll explain why, all right? If I go down here into my Google settings, where are they now? Google settings, right? You'll see in my Google settings, I've got this thing, Less Secure App Access, which I'll show you how to get to a little bit later on. And that's currently set to off, right? Now, I have been through this multiple times before, and I usually set it to on, okay? But it appears that what's happening is that Google, in their wisdom, when they hear that somebody, a particular application, in this particular case, Mozilla Thunderbird, my email program, they've come up with a new version because the old version has got vulnerabilities in it. What they obviously tend to do is check to see when you log in with whatever email client program you're using. And if you are not using the latest one, even though you may have turned on less secure applications, we'll describe in a minute, they then switch it back off again, okay? So I'll just to show you, I'm going to turn it back on. It says it's updating, it's now on. If I go back to my email program, okay, and I get the messages again, okay, okay, and I get a message, a critical alert from Google, that one message downloaded, and it downloaded okay, so it actually came up and worked all right. Okay, so just to show you what that critical message is, okay, and I've got lots of these because I've been testing this morning. Access for less secure application has been turned on. Okay, I turned it on. Okay, critical security turning. I've turned that on. It's telling me I've turned it on. And somewhere around the back there, it said there was some critical thing. Sign-in attempt was blocked because it used a less secure application. So apparently, if you use a less secure application, sign-in apps is blocked, and they switch off less secure applications. Now, the whole idea of this is that if you're using an application that they consider to be secure, even though you've got the setting, less secure application set to on, they switch it back off again. It seems to be the case based on the thing. So anyway, how do you change this? All right, so we'll go back to this. I'll show you how I got to this screen. All right, so I'll just close that completely. And I'm just going to start with a completely new tab and just say Google settings. All right, I'm going to search for Google settings. I go into Google settings, goes to your account. So I go into Google account. I'm going to click in there. Now I'm already logged into this account, so it won't ask me to log in. But if you aren't logged in, it will come up with some sort of thing that says you're not logged in, please log in. It comes up with this privacy checkup. If you look on there, it says nothing about less secure applications. What you're going to do is go back with the back button there, their back arrow, not your back arrow, their back arrow. It's a distinction. And then you've got to go to the security thing over on the left-hand side. Okay. And then you've got to go down where it says less secure applications. Where we are, your devices, less secure applications. It's currently on because I turned it on before, but it will show it's been off. You've got to then click on the button underneath, right? And then it'll probably say it's off, and you're going to click it on. Okay, mine's already on. That's how you do it. Now, unfortunately, you're going to have to do that every time your email app gets updated by whoever your email app is, if you're using an app or your email client software. So if your email client software, which mine in this particular case, as I said, is Mozilla Thunderbird, all right? Every time that gets updated by Mozilla, because the old one has found that a vulnerability in it, Google will automatically switch that setting to less secure applications back to off, which means that when you log in, you get that message to say there's an invalid password. So there's a couple of problems with this. One of the problems seems to be that this is not known by the average person, and the average user just thinks, oh, my password's wrong. I put the new password, it still doesn't work, So that's not known. The other thing is, it's about time that the people that are writing, if they're updating their the client software situation, there should be a way where Google sends them a message to say, oh, your password's okay, but you're using vulnerable software. So it actually should come up and say, you're not using the latest version of Mozilla Thunderbird, either update to it or switch on less secure applications in Google. But they don't do that. They don't do that, so it just confuses everybody. So that's what it's all about, all right? Nothing to do with usernames and passwords, and that's confusing the novice user to hell, the fact that it comes up saying your username and password is incorrect, and you've got to go through that process to do it. And the other thing is, it's not really easy to find how to switch on less secure apps. I'll just do it again, by the way. Okay, I'm already in it. Go and do it again. All right, I'll come back. I'll close that completely. All right, I'll close that one. All right, so I went into Google, Google settings. Google settings, right? Went into your Google account, right? As I said, you may have to log in, all right? Okay, you can't go in on that screen because it does nothing for you. You've got to go back with the back button, that back arrow, come out of privacy checkup and go to your settings, right? Then you've got to go down here to security. Convoluted, isn't it? All right. And then from security, you scroll down because you won't be able to see it. All right. You got to scroll down to where it says less secure app access. See if it's switched on or off. If it's currently switched off, you need to switch it on. So you've got to click on here. It'll say turn on access, not recommended. So that's where you turn it on. So mine's already on, as I said. So that's the way you do it. Right, any questions, ask me. Other than that, that's basically it. Okay, more, I'll stop